To get started on any still life, we have to think at first about the composition and placement. And pretty much everything in the still life or anything we're about to draw can be enclosed in a very simple, basic shape. And what I'm going to do is sort of outline for the placement the entire setup that is in front of you. And I will go a few times around the entire blob of matter. And then eventually, out of all of that, I will chisel out, separate from this blob certain objects, but they all will sit within this area. The bottle with the flowers can serve as a dominant, as a vertical here, and I would say that relatively to the end of the drapery on the left, end of the drapery on the right, it sits in the middle. How about somewhere here? There are angles, and if you will take your pencil and hold it against anything in your still life over there where you are looking at it, the real thing, you will see that there is an angle that the flower descends towards the coffee pot. And I will guess this angle as being sort of like that. Here will be my coffee pot. Here will be the bottle. In between, there is a box which has certain direction. In front, there is a pear. And then there is a group of the teapot and something, a lemon, I guess it is. And that is how, sitting within this first initial amorphic shape, I have all the object on my paper in place and fairly accurately represented. Now I am going to find the angle of the table's edge, and for everybody it will be somewhat different, but I will just, for the sake of simplicity, draw a straight line here, and this will be the edge of the table. Do not pay attention to the other side of the table. That is perspective. We are not interested in it right now. So now let's find a little bit more accurately the placement of all the objects. I know that I need some room for the flowers. Here is this angle. Here will be the group of the sunflowers and some leaves, something like that. I'll make the end of the bottle here. Please remember that the bottle is a man-made symmetrical object balanced around the central line, and this is the reference to your vertical, this is the reference to your horizontal. It is a rectangular shaped piece of paper. And now I want to find out how big is this pot relatively to the bottle. And if the bottom of my coffee pot will be here, I can start guessing. Let's say I want it to be about like that. And now I can hold my pencil on the top of the projected coffee pot and see where it will cross my bottle. And of course, you always refer to the actual still life. You can hold your pencil in the distance like that on the top of this coffee pot, and it will cross the bottle at certain place. And I would say it's right here, so I'm referring also to the label. Label will a little bit lower, and it gives me also the other side of the box that is in the middle. The coffee pot also is vertical, standing upright. It has central line, and its sides go slightly out towards the bottom. It's cylindrical object. Everything is circular. Here is something for the detail work later on. And here we have a little handle here, and then how to deal with this nose of it and the handle. I will find first the placement for the insertion of this spout, and then I'll find its gesture. And I would say it's about like that. On the opposite side from this point, there is the insertion for the handle. You cannot see it, I cannot see it, but I see how it emerges from there and forms something like that. Try to train your eye to see transparently. Here is a pretty accurate rendition. Of course, you can always measure the widths relatively to the height for greater accuracy. Now, if I connect the bottom of the coffee pot, which I already have sketched here, and I'm pleased with the placement, and if I connect it with the pear that is in the front, there will be a slight angle. It gives you a good placement for the pear. It's somewhere here. How big is the pear? If you put your pencil on the top of the pear in the distance, on the actual still life, this line, this extension, the Mondrian line, will cross this coffee pot somewhere. And I would say that it crosses it somewhere here. This gives me the size. And I will make it just a little bit smaller, like that. Here is the pear. It has certain angle. Don't be afraid to draw helping lines and guess. Don't commit to the line. See, I'm working with the lines that are light, and I'm looking for the true shapes and giving myself room for a mistake. Then, relatively to this, here is the box. Here is the angle of it. This is the angle of this side. This is the corner. And here is certain angle that will guide you towards the eventually horizon. We will learn all that in the perspective. If this is the end of the coffee thing, then somewhere here will be the end of the box. There is certain distance between this object and the pear. Guess how big or small is this distance? Where is everything else relatively to something that you have already found? Here is our bottle. Now we can find its actual thickness. See, I was wrong. If this were to be the vertical for the central line, I'll move it now. And I'm going to remove this and shape up my bottle relatively to the newly found, more accurately found vertical. And here will be its neck, and then all kinds of things. Let's finish with the flowers. This shape of the big sunflower, somewhere here, again, same principle as with the entire still life. You find the big geometric form, something familiar, solid, a circle. Here in the middle, there will be a center of the sunflower. It has certain rhythm in the position of the petals. We'll find it later. Here is the leaf sticking out, something else there, large leaf here, and maybe some petals sticking out on this side. How to handle the blue flowers? They come out from the neck, describe this kind of a dive, and form certain shape in where the actual flowers are, and then you can divide them 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. You have an image that is fairly accurate, corresponds with the image we are seeing, and gives you very good information about the placement. Next, there is a teapot. And there is a distance which is slightly greater than the distance between this pot and the pear. From the pear there, I would shoot a little longer distance. Here will be my lemon, and somewhere here, the teapot. Teapot looks as a complex shape, but I'm going to ignore the lemon that is overlapping it. I know how this portion looks like, and it'll be helpful to draw the whole thing for accuracy of drawing. It has certain proportions, lengths, width, and I know that it fits almost into a square. So I'm just trying to work around this imaginary central line. It helps me to balance the sides. See, this should correspond. The symmetrical sides, always go for that. Here will be the ellipse, here will be the neck, or whatever it is, and then same principle. We have a very thick spout. It ends here. It has certain curvature, and it is inserted somewhere there, or maybe even a little bit lower. Let's correct. You have eraser for that. And then on the other side, the handle is attached in two spots, here and there. So after you have finished drawing a fairly accurate shape, when it's balanced, symmetrical, it's time to attach the handle, just like the pottery master would do that. And it looks about like that. Again, general position, placement, proportions, only then you can go into the details. Find its thickness. It even has those little bumps here, probably for the fingers. And we have the teapot. How to handle the drapery. It's sort of like a messy, amorphic formation, but now we have all ingredients for placement of the drapery. We have the foreground, the stiff edge of the table. I'm going to sketch the thickness of it, of this counter. I'm going to let it go there, but here I am interested in organizing the corner for composition, or maybe I even finish it like that. So that will be the table. And now I know that if this is accurate, here will be the basic angle for this side of the folds. From here, I see the fold emerging, going over, down, ending, and then it goes this way. Here will be a little dimple, kind of hugging the pear. Here will be another one, and this ends, and so forth. So you just go with the flow, literally. So here I am going to correct now my drawing, and I'm going to make this happen, and so forth. Here, lines. Look for the lines, shapes, and let them go. Something there, we will handle it when we will be working on the line value. A little shadow here. Even some soft waves in the fabric, you can still depict them with lines, because that's what they are. Here, I forgot about the lemon. Let's do the lemon. It has this elongated shape and a little protrusion here in front. That's how we know that it is a lemon. And now I can clean up all the lines that I used for better drawing of the teapot. On this side, here is a very nice curve for this, and then this, and then a couple of others, little wave here, there, dark one here. I'm not shading. We are not shading on this assignment at all. And then here is this fold. It went away, some formation there. End of the box. We're pretty much done. We have everything. It's fairly accurately rendered, and now we can check a few things, and I'm going to show you how to use Mondrian lines or references of the horizontals and verticals. I already mentioned that you have to connect things with angular measurements first there on actual still life, and then find how accurate it is on your drawing. But you also can do something like that. Let's say this is the side of the bottle. You hold the pencil there and you will see what area of the pear it slices through. If you put this horizontal line, on the pot, you will see where it crosses the bottle. If you want to know where this ends, drop the line. It will connect you with something that you already have. This, that. You can create the entire grid that will help you to make certain corrections. But right now, I'm going to show you on this drawing how to create depths without resorting to shading. You know by now that everything that is darker appears closer, and then if the lines will fade away and almost disappear in the farther plane of the drawing, you will have the illusion of depths on three-dimensional depths on two-dimensional paper. For that, we need to split this drawing into three imaginary planes and sort of hang on to this idea and notion. The first plane would be the foreground, this. So imagine that I'm sort of touching it like there, the edge of the table. And everything that is here should be rendered in a darkest line with gradation within. Our next plane will be, let's say, the teapot, maybe even the coffee pot and the box and the bottle with all the nuances within. And the last plane will be the folds behind, maybe some petals, or maybe even the shadows on the walls, or maybe you will want to create some kind of an interesting image of a painting or a window or somebody in front of you drawing, and you will dress up this whole thing as some kind of an interesting composition, not just a study. So to make it happen, you need to get a pencil that will be much, much softer. 3B would be a good choice. And any kind of a straight edge. Because at first, it would be good to set a really nice tonal value where you can. And there is nothing closer than the edge of the table. The straight edge helps you to draw the table, which is pretty straight, accurately, and this will be its thickness. So here we are, fairly dark. I have this guide now. I have a good line. I can also finish it here. The table in real life for me goes farther, but I don't care. And then I want this too, because it might add a little bit of interest to this corner. I might even finish the table here for the same purpose. And then you need to remember, in this particular assignment of the line value, we do not look at the color. It doesn't matter that the table is black and the cloth is white. We have to draw everything that is closer to our eye. with the darkest lines possible. And all those little dimples and all the turns and all the lines and formations that are in front will be as dark as the table's edge. Here is this one. Now, the pear. There is very short distance, so we will consider it to be also within this first plane. And now I'm just working on the outline of the pear, trying to make it as dark as the table. And here is this little stem. And the pear is basically done, because there is nothing really here that protrudes forward, and we will just have the outline. Now, if this is a little bit too dark relatively to the cloth, you just make this line darker. And we have plenty of room here. So that is how thick and dark you can make the line of the foreground. Keep making it darker, and then you will have greater range to go back. So this thing, it has a little bit lighter, should have a little bit lighter outline. But then the center of it is closer to you. That's what I mean by gradations within the object. So this should be a little bit darker, and then it goes towards the sides. The sides will be the same. Same here, as much as you see. And then we have this, and this end of this nose is a little bit closer to you. So you can make it a little bit darker, and so forth. This probably should be the same here. Accent in the middle. It's a circle. This part is closer. And then round it up, so forth. Same principle. This dark, draw just with the line. And never mind that this part is white, this is black. They should be done exactly the same. They sit on the same plane relatively to you. This will be a little lighter. Bottle will be even lighter. All that will be pretty much of the same strength as the bottle, and that's how you go about it. Use your eraser. Clean up all helping lines, all central lines. They have served their purpose. And take a harder pencil, which will be the H group, and you can gently outline very delicately, lighten it up again. Keep going, clean up the line. And this is already sticking forward. It appears much closer. Remember, you can make this line much, much thicker. It's just a matter of working and reworking it. And the darker and heavier the lines are here. And then like on this fold, it's dark because it's right there. There is nothing closer to you in this still life than this. And then the line should basically fade away. And it's a good example how it leads our eye away, showing an aerial perspective. All the lines symbolizing the folds behind should be also the lightest, up to the point when, in order to see them, you need to look really close. So between this line and this line, there is a huge range. And after you polish it all up and erase everything, it will become nice, crisp, clean drawing, which will convey the illusion of space and depth. And that's exactly what this assignment is about.